I had someone reach out to me and ask to do a weapons, equipment, attachments, weapon mod, little video guide. So that's what I'm going to do today. I just want to start off by saying my stats are extremely high. I have 200 cunning. So a lot of my weapon choices and attachment choices are based on that. I also have max defense, which means some of the stats like constitution, willpower, they don't do quite as much for me as they would others. Same with the magic defense, range defense, melee defense. So as I go along here, I'm going to try and give advice for everybody. That may seem difficult to start, but it should work out in the end. Just keep in mind, just giving a heads up ahead of time. Also, I want it to be known that if you have a physical immunity amulet, you should wear it on all of your characters. I'm going to sort of ignore it when I go through the rest of these. That's because if you don't wear it on all your characters, I don't know what you're thinking. It's game breaking, so I shouldn't have to advise you on that. The second caveat is going to be the belt of health. I use the belt of health on pretty much all of my characters. The only exceptions are going to be the Reaver, which I use the Superb Belt of Urgency, and the Arcane Warrior, which get the Storm Pack belts. Now, of course, you can use some of the other packed belts on the other mages if you decide to do builds with them, etc. Some people like the electric belt on the Virtuoso. I don't personally. It does plenty of damage without the belt. I'm not going to give up all that survivability. Cerebos, you can do the fire belt if you have a lot of con. It's actually pretty fun with Athlock burst and whatnot. So those again, if you're aware enough that you know what to do with the belts, you can make your own equipment decisions. So with that being said, I'm going to start off with armor. I feel like that's pretty much the easiest to go through. Start with the heavy armors. Thankfully, all the classes have the same options. So for heavy armor, you always want to try to go for the plus 16 Constitution. It's the clear winner. The only options you have in the armor slot are Constitution or plus health, and then there's also melee defense, but Constitution gives you melee defense. You get a half a percentage for each one of Constitution. So the top is going to be 16 con, so that gives you, 80 plus health, and then 8% melee defense. There's other options. I think there's 81 health, and then 11 con. Those are pretty much a toss-up. I'd probably just go with the 11 constitution if I had to choose between the two. I have a 27% heal bonus, but that's because my defense is maxed. The only other leg options are 12% magic defense and 12% range defense, or their lower variants. If I had to choose and I did not have maxed magic or range defense, I would go with magic defense and then range defense. The reason for that being is you can take talents that reduce range defense or melee defense. You can't for magic. It's going to be the same on all of these. The only one that I would use the heal bonus over the ranged or magic defense would be the Reaver. And that's because they get heals on hit, they have Devour, and she also has Rampage. So you get a little bit bigger boost out of it. Because it's not a straight 27% like it would be heal and kill. So say you have 10% heal or kill and this 27% attachment, you're going to get an extra 2.7%. So it's not game breaking or anything, but it's nice to have. For rogues, see, I don't even have armor attachments on some of them, on the arms, because your only options in the arms are going to be the plus 16 cunning or plus 12 magic defense, and cunning and magic defense don't do anything for me, so I just didn't even bother. But for arms, you definitely want to go for the plus 16 cunning. That's by far the best one. That's going to be 8% range defense and 8% critical chance, which is actually pretty damn good when you don't have max stats, honestly. So for legs, there's really only one really good option as well. It's going to be that plus 12 willpower. That one's going to be your best one. 6 magic defense, 6 attack. I would definitely try to get that. There's lower variants. I think there's 8 willpower as well. I have Sunder on a couple of these because that's pretty much the only thing that helps me. For mages, see, these is really personal preference. The best ones are probably what I have on this right here, 32% electrical. That's going to be in your leg slot. And then the 32% spirit is going to be in your arm slot. And you can't really beat that. I think that's pretty good. If you wanted, you could go with the 12 willpower in your arm slot. That one's good as well. Like I said, that's going to be 6 attack, so you get a little bit more offense out of that and 6% magic defense. But eventually you're going to end up replacing it with one of these. So you're not going to hurt yourself by putting this on here. And especially with Kunari being introduced and the electrical Venator mages, it's not a bad attachment, no matter what. And the funny part is for legs, the only thing you have is like 16% fire as an alternative. So yeah, you're good to go. And that's pretty much all it goes with armors. It's really pretty easy. If anyone has any further questions, I guess you can just drop me a comment or something.